It has been a year since our big channel update where we told you about our struggles and talked about our plans moving forward. And we thought it was time for another massive update because we have some big news. If you read the title of the video, well,
we're breaking up.
With who? J-dubs. We have had a bit of a relationship with Games Workshop in the past. Some might even have called us shills. And we're going to be going into the whats and whys that will mean for the channel later on. But for now, we're going to talk about how we're doing as a channel, what's been going on with YouTube, what our plans are, and how our plans have been going. And of course, our messy breakup. It's tabletop time. Boom! Okay, it's time to recap some stuff and bring you up to speed. So a year ago, we asked everyone for some help. We were struggling as a YouTube channel and it was met by and large with overwhelming support. Functionally, what we had to do is make some decisions as a business because of course, well, we all want to keep our jobs. I mean, who wouldn't? So we all cut down our hours and started working part-time. And from there, you could see that we began to produce only one video a week. And with the combined Patreon support, we were getting a little bit closer to a form of stability. And the fact that we're making videos after a year tells us that a lot of the decisions we made and the support of the public have massively helped us. But given that it's been a year, we should go through what that's kind of meant and some of the other decisions we made to kind of make tabletop time viable. One of the main ones here was working on products. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about that pillar a bit later, but the main coverage is we did the Kindred of the Abyss campaign, a miniatures campaign that effectively funded the studio to produce miniatures, start developing a game in the background, and also start working on the next miniatures faction, which will be the Sisters of the Old Blood, which we're working on right now. Which has meant for the last 12 months, we've effectively managed to keep our heads above water. Overall, recently we've seen a lot of creators talk about their struggles with the platform of YouTube in general, and it does seem that the way the algorithm operates has changed. Now, I am not a fan of like blaming the algorithm for things going poorly, but I did want to say that you can't ignore outside factors do change things. And I feel one of the major changes recently has been that channels kind of need to pigeonhole a little bit into a niche. A few years ago, when we were making videos that got a lot more views than they do now, we could produce a video one day that was working on a board game, the next day make a Warhammer conversion, and the day after a battle report. And all three videos felt like they had an equal chance of success. Nowadays, the YouTube algorithm certainly doesn't feel like that. And you see a lot of people creating second channels, third channels for their other streams of content. Over that year, we've also developed some cool relationships with other companies. And you might have seen that we've managed to go overseas twice. I got flown to Adepticon and Murray and I got flown to Gen Con, both times by Corvus Belli, where basically we needed the opportunity to go overseas, shake some hands, and potentially build some business that would help the company. For us to be able to make those trips internationally, well, we as a small channel that's trying to make ends meet, couldn't bankroll it ourselves. So we basically sought out Corvus Belli and said, hey, we'll do some videos for you if you'll pay for flights and accommodation and get us over there. These ventures have been fantastic and hopefully the kind of things that will pay off long form and really allow us to keep working and keep doing tabletop time in some capacity for years to come. Of course, we love our job painting miniatures and making videos, so we're gonna do everything we can to keep that job. You'd be kind of crazy not to. And I think having an attitude of giving up and folding in and going back to our old careers, while it's always an option, to be honest, I feel like that wouldn't really be doing a service to the thousands of people who have shown us their love, watching our videos, supporting our Patreon. And in Australia, we have a term which is basically just giving it a go. If you're not having a crack and trying to make it work, why are you bothering in the first place? With that said, things have been getting a little bit more difficult. And a big part of that is, well, how things have been going on YouTube.
So in the past year, we've had a mixed bag of performance when it came to our videos. Some stuff performed really well and some stuff performed not as well as we had hoped. When talking about stuff that didn't perform to our expectations, these are things like battle reports, which in the past, maybe they've done really well. Unfortunately, recently, they're some of the lowest performing videos. While we had so much fun doing them and the production value we think is really, really good, unfortunately, the views just don't correlate for how much work and effort we put into those those videos in particular. So it's really hard because we're trying to strike a good balance between what viewers say that they want, but then also what we end up getting in terms of viewership. Also, there's the very important caveat of what do we actually enjoy filming? Because at the end of the day, that's the most important part. So when I talk about fun in videos, a great example of this is the compilation that we did recently for the Titan board. Now, when we made this, we obviously had to rewatch all that footage that we did, and in doing so, we realized how much fun that project was. Yes, we spent so much time and effort on it, but the views also equated to, well, really good. There's just something about watching it back that made us realize maybe we're not having as much fun as we thought we were. Another example of this is coffee bits and skits. We used to do these all the time, and they were a really good way to sort of break up a lot of the painting and the everyday mundane that we do. We really enjoyed doing these. Unfortunately, time pressure is a huge thing, and we wanted to try and release videos on the date and consistently, trying to make them professional and as clean as possible, which is why skits and coffee bits kind of disappeared into the fray. And this is something we absolutely want to bring back. When it came to creating videos, we had to really think about the gimmick, the thing that would sell the video, and sometimes we had to compromise on our passion in order to make a video more YouTubey. So what does this all mean moving forward? Well, in reflection of all the things I've just said and reviewing old footage, we want more fun. This just means we want to make videos that are fun, that we care about, and that we can put that passion back into. We want to do more skits. We want to show you guys who we are and why we care so much about this hobby and why we care so much about tabletop time. Being able to create our own products and inject ourselves into it is such an important part of this channel, and we want to share that journey with you guys. So there's a couple of things that we're excited for moving forward in making videos at Tabletop Time, including more board builds, which is great. I am super excited to continue on with my Ideneth Deepkin.
Yeah, about armies and commitments. Sorry, Jen. That's why there hasn't been an Alpha Legion video in like 2 months, because it wasn't fun. I just didn't want to force myself to do it. I'm going to finish that in 2025. That is my goal. The army is being done in 2025, but I've just taken a short break from it, and I think that we need to kind of give ourselves license to do that rather than just hammer it out at the original rate. And we remember our commitments. There are 2 other things that Jazza or us, probably Jazza, has boldly promised to a camera in the past. Number 1 was a giant kill team game using the giant McFarlane miniatures. Well, good news, someone else did it first, and we will never do that, ever. It's never happening. Second thing is a kill team match between Sisters and Trader Guard on the Cathedral board, and that is going to happen. Even though battle reports have proven to be kind of, unfortunately recently, like way too expensive, we don't get a return on them. We probably won't be able to make battle reports in the future unless it's something people really want and they start to perform better. But we will still honor that commitment. We're planning to do that, but we're actually planning to do that as part of the sort of promotional campaign for Sisters of the Old Blood. So that will come later this year. That is all my interlude. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. We also want to make more long form content, but a little bit differently. We want to put more time into our projects because, well, crafting projects require more time. Who knew? However, breaking these videos up into smaller sections works really well and has worked well in the past. So we might do a couple more of these, experiment where we need to, and hopefully they can work really well. We're trying some new stuff as well in terms of filming, and you've probably seen a couple of our thumbnails as well. We are trying our best to make this work. But how do you make a YouTube channel survive in 2025? Well, Dave is going to talk a little bit about revenue.
So you kind of get the idea. Video performance has been downhill, but it's been that way for a lot of people on YouTube. That does lead to the question of how can a company with several employees be sustainable in this market where the views are going down? And what does that mean? Basically, views on YouTube leads to ad revenue, and ad revenue is absolutely not enough to sustain any channel that isn't getting multi-hundreds of thousands of views per video or producing multiple videos a week that each get 50,000 plus. We're talking a matter of a few $100s for a video, but if you break it down to the amount of hours required to film, edit that video, and in the case of crafting YouTubers like us where we have to produce and paint content, it's absolutely not a return on investment. Ad revenue is a cornerstone of every YouTube channel, but for channels of our size, those kind of small to medium sized channels, ad revenue is just part of the picture. And with channel performance going down, ad revenue goes down as well. It also means that it impacts the other major pillar of being able to make money, and that's sponsored videos. You see, most channels have advertising rates. Basically, it's what we charge someone to do an ad spot on a video. But these ad rates are typically bound and based on recent video performance, which means as average views go down, the average rates per sponsorship actually also go down. So one of the main advantages to having a really high average view count is you can charge sponsors more for the videos. Of course, they're getting more impressions, more eyes on their product. It's just how marketing works. So the people who you see making big bucks on YouTube are the people who are getting hundreds of thousands or usually millions of views on every video and doing a big sponsor segment in each, because I can guarantee you those sponsor segments are paying a fair bit of change. So that's two pillars of revenue. The third one, and one that is becoming the increasing backbone of so many channels out there, is Patreon funds. That is the support of you, the viewer. When we put out the call to action a year ago, our Patreon surged. We did always feel it was quite small for a channel of our size, but the support we received was immense, and the Patreon went about 4 times what it previously was. And the figures are public when you go to the Patreon, and I believe at the most we were getting about $4,000 a month, which was pretty close to a number that could be base level sustainable for the company. When you combine ad revenue and sponsorships, just that alone meant that we could just continue operating as we were. Now, we've been so thankful that the backslide on Patreon in the last 12 months has been as small as it has. I think now we're sitting at about 3,100, which is about a 25% reduction from that huge surge of support. And it's because so many people have stuck around, which is more than we expected, that we have been able to continue. So we are so grateful to our Patreons. With that said, Patreon is the cornerstone of how these things can operate. So if you like what we do and want to see our videos and would like to see our weekly behind the scenes videos or be part of our mini review, please consider checking out our Patreon. If we could get that figure per month above 4,000, that would mean that we can pretty much continue what we're doing indefinitely as long as it stays at that level. But if we could see it get up to 5,000, that would mean we could start to do exclusive content or additional content just because of our patrons. All of that money would basically just go towards more hours for us to produce more content. So that's exactly where it's going. We've talked about wanting to start a podcast channel. We've talked about wanting to do extra videos, extended cuts and things like that. But all of that is a commitment we could only make with that higher level of support. If you're interested in any of that, the links are in the description. But that is the third of 4 major parts of how to make a YouTube channel work. And the fourth part of how we're making our YouTube channel work, and really the thing that has 100% kept us going. It's kept us in a state where people are able to work enough to pay for their groceries, and that is the product launches. So the Kindred of the Abyss product launch I mentioned earlier this year, which is us starting our miniature universe. We're so excited to be making our own stuff that feels like its own stuff. It's not just proxies of other games. The Kindred of the Abyss are their own characters in their own universe with their own lore. We've got amazing art being done, sculpts being done, and we're so excited for the next one. In fact, the person who came up with the concept for the next one might have something to say about them.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna talk about Sisters. So they're coming in at the 4th quarter of this year, and I'm super excited. We've started a couple of design concepts and really trying to flesh out the army that I've always dreamed of, and I'm super, super excited because they look so good. We have an amazing team as well working on the sculpts for this release too. The Sisters of the Old Blood are inspired by Victorian and Gothic sort of themes and are gonna be realized into a fully fledged army. So I've taken a lot of inspiration from videos that I've done previously, trying to sort of work out the vibe and the feel of what I wanted to create. And ultimately, it is an army full of, well, empowered women and a couple of guys as well, don't worry. And I'm
hot guys.
Hot guys, hot girls too. And we're exploring this really dark and kind of almost Cthulhu-esque theme. So it's not gonna be all sunshine and flowers. No, there's some really deep and dark stuff happening in this army, and I think you guys are gonna love it. So there's a couple of characters that I do wanna mention. There's this one, and she's like a beastmaster, and she's really cool. And
okay, yep, we can't talk about that yet. So, thanks, Jen. So basically, the Sisters of the Old Blood are not quite at the point where we're going to be talking about them. We're still working on stretch goals for Kindred of the Abyss, but we are also with a different sculptor working on the Sisters. We will share more soon, but we have something even sooner. You see, over a year ago, Jazza started a project on Tabletop Time and on his vlogs where he was making the coolest supplement to role-playing games. He basically wanted a solution that was magnetic tile sheets that allow you to fold out battle maps, whiteboard marker accessible, so you could create and keep encounter maps ready to go, as modular, easy to set up as you could possibly imagine, and we have made them. It's called Magniscape, and the pre-launch page is up now. And what's great about this is it's a physical product with a really broad appeal. This is actually something that your DM could enjoy. This is something for someone who plays Pathfinder, D&D, Gateway, roleplay. But one of the things we really love about this product over and above is the fact that it's all whiteboard marker erasable and it's all magnetic. They're double-sided boards and one side of them is fully magnetic. All the props are magnetic, and that means they don't slide around everywhere. You can assemble like a tavern or an encounter. You can close it up, put it on the shelf, and pull it out when you're actually ready to play. We're gonna be showing off a whole lot more of this product soon, but we wanted to announce that it is coming, and it's actually coming quickly. We didn't expect the sample to arrive so soon, and backing this product is going to be, well, aside from Patreon, the #1 way to continue to see tabletop time into the future. We have a dream that we're gonna be a miniatures company that basically produces fantastic products that all of you can enjoy, and that is the pillar that means we will always be able to make fun content on YouTube while working to make amazing products. Please go down into the link in the description and go sign up onto the GameFound page. You'll be notified when the campaign is actually available. We're gonna be working really hard to make this an awesome product, and we have great ideas for stretch goals. We have these whiteboard marker erasable stickers, reusable stickers that can completely change the use of all of your props, spell markers, so many concepts for stretch goals. It's gonna be awesome. Please go support it. That would be great. But if you're here this long, you're probably going, you pulled us into this video to talk about your messy breakup with Games Workshop. Well, it's about time we talk about it.
Fine, it's finally time. Time for the hot goss with your boy, Captain Voice. And I'm going to adopt this very deep,
gravelly monotone.
Totally not because it's the only voice I can currently do. Basically, a while ago, we were lucky enough, in fact, to be on Games Workshop's mailing list for content creators who were sent products ahead of time, ahead of release schedule, so they could build things, paint things, review them, and then release them on the pre-order launch. And honestly, that's a pretty good deal for anyone who loves Warhammer content. You get the sneak peek and you get to do it before anyone else. As it was something we could sort of rely on to get fairly consistent and well-rounded views for something that was topical. It was a new release. It was something that was in the world that we cared about. We had something to talk about. We could paint something. It all seemed pretty good. However, it's not all sunshine and roses. So fall into the trap of making videos about things that you don't necessarily care strongly about. Some things you could make a lot of fun. What do you think about this thing that just came out? Or what if we painted it differently, like this? Is it more enhanced in this way? Which is all very interesting, but it's not really a passion project. And that is what we're trying to revitalize here at Team Tabletop Time. I really hope you're all enjoying my voice. I'm really enjoying it. That ASMR was just for you, Vaughn. It's also the small matter of there's not a lot of cross-promotion in the world of Warhammer. Warhammer community will occasionally do articles showing off things. We once built a Krieg trenchboard for them. Small tidbit, they did in fact fail to mention that we were a YouTube channel or provide any links, which was a bit of a bummer. We'll put that down to human error, but you know, that kind of sucked. And also one thing, a lot of people are convinced that Games Workshop sends us oodles of money to, you know, talk good about their project and become shills. You know, Games Workshop, famous for handing out money and supporting fan animations on the internet, you know, that Games Workshop. I'm gonna say, no, they do not. They send out free products and you do something with it, which we have decided, putting everything stacked up against each other. There's a lot of things that we don't want to work on that they produce. You know, not all of their hits are bangers. That's for sure. And so if we do something in the future, it's because we want it for ourselves and we'll buy it for ourselves. So it is definitely going to be something that we're interested in. And in that case, we will be shills. But other than that, it's just something that we don't want to lean upon for the future of this channel. And so we're going to establish other things that we want to look into, make friendships with other companies that, you know, we want to support and champion. Everyone we have talked to in pretty much every company, including Games Workshop, has been awesome, actually fantastic. And so we're just gonna keep talking to people who are awesome. And if they have something that we think is really cool and worth promoting, we're gonna do it on this channel. So to sum things up, going forwards, Tabletop Time will not be on the Games Workshop influencer program. If we do any Warhammer content like Jen's Ideneth Deepkin or my Steel Legion, you can rest assured I will be dead in the ground before I stop making my Steel Legion army. And so hopefully there will be a lot more emphasis in the things that we actually want to make when it comes to Games Workshop. We've always been pretty honest about what we think about the models that are released. If we think something looks dumb, we'll call it dumb, but we love the world of Warhammer, always have, probably always will. Depends what they do with it in the future, so maybe we'll come back to that next year. So what will that mean for you watching in the future? More varied content of different games, things that we really want to look into and help promote. If there's Games Workshop stuff, it'll be stuff that we really care about or really hate and we'll tear into it like nothing else. But mostly it's to stop everyone in the comments saying that we're Games Workshop shills, which we only slightly are. It's time for an outro, I think.
Thank you all so much for watching this video on our little update of what's happening over at Tabletop Time.
I hope it gives you some insights into how we can exist as a YouTube business. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, please do go and click that pre-launch page if you're a role player or if you can find a use for some cool tiles, our Magniscape product. And if you're very keen on the miniature side of things, we should have some updates about the Sisters of the Old Blood soon.
So if you've got any things that you'd love to see from us again on this channel, throw them in the comments below. We'll farm it. I don't know. We'll do the YouTuber thing.
Sorry for making you talk so much, Murray. His voice is not quite up to it, eh?
We're getting better.
That's such a good harvest.
$6 for coffee? What is this, Warhammer?
That's another miserable day to be a dairy farmer.
In the 5, brother.
Good cow coffee.